Wood County District Public Library Children's Place staff presents Little Red Riding Hood, a Reader's Theater. Once upon a time, there was a girl who was called Little Red Riding Hood because of the red cape she always wore. She lived with her mother and father in a cottage near the forest. One day, her mother told her that her grandmother was feeling unwell.
I'll bring my grandmother some cake to help her feel better. My mother and father have always told me not to talk to strangers or make stops on the way to grandmother's house, so I'll have to be careful.
Little Red Riding Hood started to walk into the woods to her grandmother's house. A little ways into the woods, the big bad wolf crept up behind her.
Hello, little girl. Where are you going?
I'm taking this cake and these flowers to my grandmother.
Oh, how kind of you. Your grandmother will be happy. Where does your grandmother live?
She lives in a cottage right next to the big tree over the hill, but my mother told me not to talk to strangers, so I have to go.
Of course. But if I may make a suggestion, don't you think your grandmother would like some of these beautiful wildflowers?
You're right. I'll pick some for her. Thank you for the idea.
Goodbye, little girl.
Goodbye, Mr. Wolf.
While Little Red Riding Hood picked her flowers, the wolf put his wicked plan into motion.
While she's distracted with the flowers, I'll get to her grandmother's house before the little girl arrives. I'll eat her grandmother, and then I'll eat the little girl.
So the wolf took a shortcut to grandmother's cottage and knocked on the door.
Hello, grandmother.
It's Little Red Riding Hood. May I come in? That's not Little Red Riding Hood. I should hide somewhere.
Grandmother quickly hid in the cupboard. The wolf opened the cottage door and went inside.
There's nobody here. I'll get into bed and wait for the little girl.
Oh no, but Little Red Riding Hood is clever. She'll be okay.
The wolf jumped into grandmother's bed and put on a nightgown and cap. Soon, Little Red Riding Hood knocked on the cottage door.
Hello, grandmother. It's me, Little Red Riding Hood. May I come in?
Come in, my dear.
Where are you, grandmother?
I'm in bed, dear.
My, what big ears you have, grandmother.
All the better to hear you with, my dear.
My, what big eyes you have, grandmother.
Oh, all the better to see you with, my dear.
My, what big teeth you have, grandmother.
Oh, all the better to
Eat you with, my dear.
The wolf jumped out of the bed and went straight for Little Red Riding Hood.
I'm gonna eat you, little girl.
Help! Please don't eat me!
Just then, a woodcutter walked past the cottage and heard the screaming.
Oh my! A wolf!
The woodcutter ran inside and chopped the wolf's head off.
You're safe now, little girl.
Thank you for saving me.
You're welcome.
Grandmother, where are you? Where are you?
In the cupboard, my dear.
Little Red Riding Hood ran to the cupboard and let her grandmother out.
Are you okay?
Yes, I'm okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Woodcutter, for saving my granddaughter, sir.
It was no problem. I'm glad you're both okay.
I'll never talk to strangers in the forest again.
The end.